A dwarf planet was temporarily called Santa. This feels way too goofy to be real, so I'm going. Hello, my name is Matthew with Ancient Skies. I'm doing a name reveal. Crazy, huh? I usually wouldn't do something like that, but because of this video format, I feel like I don't really know how to do an introduction. So this is kind of the best way I can go about it, I guess. Couple things before we get into this video. Well, first off, as you can see, we're going to be doing a space quiz today, but second off, I just want to explain that if my mic quality sounds a lot different, it's because I recently got newer devices. So I would record on my phone previously, but I had a Rode mic, and so I had the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and the Rode mic had the older iPhone plug-in adapter and would plug in that way. Now that I have a newer iPhone, I need to have the USB-C plug-in, but I'm not going to just get a completely new mic if I don't have to. So I'm planning on getting an adapter at some point. So as of right now, I'm just recording audio off of my current iPhone, the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Unfortunately, you can hear a lot more in the background, like you can hear my dog walking in my room. Just a little explanation there. And then there's another thing. I don't know if you've noticed, if you've been watching any of my videos, a lot of things have been changing, the way of the format and everything. I stopped paying for CapCut. CapCut was frustrating me, and so I stopped paying for Pro, and I'm using InShot now. And so I'm trying to get used to this new editing program, trying to learn everything about it. When I first started out YouTube, I was using InShot, and then I moved over to CapCut. And the problem that I have with CapCut is, I mean, it's a list of things, so I'm not going to go into it, but that's just a couple things to explain why my content has been different, or I sound different, you know? But today I thought we would do something unique and do a space quiz together. I don't know, I feel like I really like doing my normal videos where I'm narrating and talking about something fun, or sometimes I just have an image on screen and maybe some fun facts, but I wanted to do something more, I don't know, intimate, personal. I don't know how you would label that, but that's kind of the goal, really. So we are going to get into a space quiz, but I don't know what website. You can see this first link is purple. I did check into this link earlier today when I started having this idea, and I wanted to look at an example. This first one, if I remember correctly, it's like 62 questions, so not gonna end up doing something like that. I'm wondering if we do this Wonder Lab one, if that will be a fun one. I was kind of hoping for a multiple choice quiz. So we're just going to get into it. You can't burp in space, but you can be sick. Man, you know, I don't know everything there is to know about space. I really couldn't say. I feel like you can burp and be sick. So I'm gonna say false. And when we're going through these questions, if you want to answer them in the comments or anything like that, feel free. I don't know how to go about this video format. I've never done something like this before, so this is just kind of, you know, trying it out and seeing what I can do better in the future, or, you know, just, I don't know, just figuring out what is best for this type of format. So we're gonna hit false. Wrong. So, it's true here on Earth, gravity traps all our food and gas inside us by pulling solids and liquids down to the bottom of our digestive system. While gas stays separate at the top, we need to get all the air out, otherwise we might blow up like a balloon. We do that by burping, making the gas travel back up through our bodies and out of our mouths. But in space, there's no gravity to separate our food and liquids from gas. Instead, everything floats around in a big jumble inside our bodies. So we can't burp in space because everything, food, liquid, and gas comes back up through our bodies as a bunch of vomit. Nice. Interesting. It's one of those things where I wouldn't think twice about. I have a feeling that's what a lot of these questions are going to be like. Light from the sun reaches Earth in under 5 minutes. I believe this is false. I'm pretty positive that the light takes 8 minutes. So we'll see. Correct. It's quick, but not quite that quick. Sunlight takes just over 8 minutes, I was right, to travel from the sun to the Earth. Still, that's faster than us. It would take 19 years to travel the same distance in a jet aeroplane. That's nuts. That really is. Space is amazing, and everything else that goes into space is just amazing. I love it so much. Earth is the third closest planet to the sun. Now, I'm trying to think. I think that's correct. The closest is going to be Mercury, and then Venus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Earth, right? Correct. Okay, that's what I thought, and I'm sure we'll get an explanation. Yep, Mercury is the closest, then Venus, then our planet Earth. This puts us right in what NASA calls the Goldilocks zone, where the conditions for intelligent life, believe it or not, that's us. I love that. And the living beings around us are just right. Now, I've talked about this before with exoplanets, because there's a lot that have been in what's called the Goldilocks zone or the habitable zone. That's the same kind of idea. So we'll go on to the next. I don't know how many questions this is. So, there are 9 planets in the solar system. Wrong! We know that it's wrong, and I've talked about Pluto multiple times. Pluto is no longer the 9th planet in the solar system, unfortunately. But I know there's been talks about possibly making it a planet again. I don't know if this is serious or not. I remember scrolling on social media and seeing someone make a post about a little girl writing a letter to one of the administrators of NASA, I think. Don't quote me on that. Asking about Pluto being a planet again, and they made a post on Twitter, formerly Twitter, currently X, stating something along the lines of it's something that they'll be looking into. I don't know if that's serious or not, though, so that is going to be false. Correct, Amendo. This could be quite a bit controversial. Your parents and grandparents would have been taught the solar system has 9 planets, but in 2016, Pluto was demoted to a dwarf planet, which, if you remember, that's if you watch my videos regularly, because who knows, maybe someone new is watching this, which, if you are new, welcome to Ancient Skies. If you remember seeing that video by me talking about Pluto, the moon, or a dwarf planet, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to do this without any cuts. This is how it sounds without any cuts. I either stutter or mess up my words. But another dwarf planet, I can't think of the name right now. The other dwarf planet that was discovered made astronomers redefine what makes a planet a planet. And I cannot for the life of me remember which dwarf planet that was. But yeah, it's true. We only got 8 planets. The sun is yellow. So it does look yellow, and there's a number of reasons which it will explain after this. But the sun is not yellow. It's actually a white star. So that is false. And I believe it should say that it's white. Yes. So the sun is actually white. It just appears yellow when looking through the Earth's atmosphere. So there you go. An asteroid the size of a car enters the Earth's atmosphere every year. I actually don't know this one. I know that we get a lot of debris into our atmosphere, and it burns up in the atmosphere and everything. but I don't know about the size of a car. I'm gonna say true. Wow, that is correct. Luckily, at that size, asteroids are still small enough to burn up in the atmosphere before they could donk anybody in the head, which is no surprise. A British schoolgirl gave the dwarf planet its name. I don't know. And I love that GIF, by the way. The heart-shaped region on Pluto. And not remembering what it's called, but I do know of it, and it's really cool. I'm gonna go with true on this one. I don't know. We'll see. And it's correct. Let's see. Venetia Burney suggested the name in 1930 when she was just 11 years old. Well, thank you, Venetia. That is an awesome little fun fact there. Mercury is the hottest planet in the solar system. Even though it's closer to the sun than Venus, if I am remembering correctly, Venus is hotter than Mercury. And that is because of Mercury's atmosphere. I'm sorry, Venus's atmosphere. I believe Venus is the hottest planet, even though it's not the closest. So I'm going to say false. Yes, false. There we go. Beautiful. You'd think, yeah, exactly. A similar explanation. You'd think being closest to the sun would make Mercury the hottest planet in the solar system, but it's actually Venus. That's because the atmosphere of Venus contains lots of carbon dioxide, which stores the sun's heat, warming the planet. So I was right. There we go. A dwarf planet was temporarily called Santa. This feels way too goofy to be real, so I'm going to say false. What? Oh my gosh, it's true. When something when something new is discovered in space, such as a potential new planet, it's given a temporary name until it is confirmed to be real. The dwarf planet, now called Haumea, was given the temporary name Santa because it was discovered a few days after Christmas. Ho, ho, ho! That's quite interesting, to be completely honest. This is kind of, I don't know about, the person or anybody watching this, but this is fun for me. I don't know. I'm learning some stuff here. And I learn stuff all the time making this type of content. That's why I love making this type of content and keeping up to date with news and finding, like, even old stuff. I learn something new all the time when doing research for my channel. It's a beautiful thing. I don't retain 100% of it, but it is amazing learning new things. It really is. The largest volcano in the solar system is on Earth. I think it's on Mars, if I'm remembering correctly. And again, I can't remember the name, but there is a volcano on Mars that is so huge. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest. So I'm gonna say false, which is correct. And the largest volcano in the solar system is on Mars. Olympus Mons is 21.8 kilometers, 13.6 miles tall, and its base is so large that if you put it on Earth, it would cover nearly the whole of Poland. The largest volcano on Earth is Mauna Loa in Hawaii. I apologize because I definitely said that wrong, which is just over 4 kilometers, about 2.5 miles tall. That's insane. Okay. 8 out of 10. Your space knowledge is out of this world. Well, I'm going to be honest. I think that was fun. But that's just me, I get really geeky when it comes to learning new things or trying new things. And I don't know. I just found it fun, I got to yap a little bit more than I usually do and off script. Surprising that I did all of this off script. And got to learn some new things like dwarf planets at one point were called Santa before dwarf planets. Like Haumea was called Santa before being called the dwarf planet, which is just insane. If you like this type of video, please let me know. You know, I'm doing this as an experimental thing, just to see, you know, if it's something that's received well, if it's something that I should put effort into and do again. And it doesn't just have to be quizzes, you know, I can figure out other stuff, or unless people have suggestions to do other stuff that's not just quizzes. I felt this was fun. I felt it was a little bit more intimate because I got to talk a little bit more, and it was completely off script, just kind of off the top of my head. I might have stuttered or messed up my words a little bit more because I usually cut that out of my recordings, but yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed making that type of video. So if you did enjoy this, again, please let me know. Let me know any suggestions or any criticism, you know. Don't be too harsh on me, please. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a wonderful day and or night. Thank you for watching, guys.